Hello students, welcome to my smart class once again. This time I am going to explain the chapter Our Environment of Class 10 Biology CBSE Board. You all know we are going through a severe crisis of coronavirus who is an unknown guest. So it's so tough to know the mode of action of the virus. Hope we can fight together to invade the virus. For the last 2 months, lockdown is being followed, due to which have you observed the difference? Have you ever looked up to the sky? The skies are clearing of pollution, whilst life is returning to newly clear waters. People of India can see the Himalayas for the first time due to the lifting of the unseen veil of air pollution. Air quality has improved a lot due to a dramatic reduction in factory and road traffic emissions of carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxides, related ozone formation, and particulate matter. There is a great deal of reduction in emission of greenhouse gases too. So coronavirus is a serious threat for which we all have to maintain social distancing and opt for hygienic habits. But truly speaking, the lockdown in the world has definitely improved the quality of air we are breathing in. Now going back to the chapter, Our Environment of Class 10 Biology CBSE Board, let us frame questions and let me help you out with the answers from the NCERT book itself. First question is define environment. You can see the natural surroundings of an organism that affects its life and activities is called an environment. If it is say an environment, actually is a broad term. Biologists use the term environment in a general way to describe the total living and non-living things which influence the lives of organisms present in a specific area. Let us come to the next question. What is biosphere? The different strata of air, water and soil which comprise the parts of earth where living organisms survive is called the biosphere. This is the part of the earth in which life exists. See, all the parts of the earth means lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere that accommodate the living organism actually is called biosphere. I think it's clear to you what is biosphere. Then next question is what is atmosphere? The whole mass of air surrounding the earth is called atmosphere. To be very short and brief, actually atmosphere is one of the principal components of the environment. And air is a mixture of a number of gases, water vapor, and a variety of fine particulate and suspended materials. Next, what is lithosphere? The solid part of the Earth's crust, which comprise of soil, rock, etc., is called lithosphere. See, lithosphere basically is the outermost shell of the Earth and is known as crust of the Earth. Uppermost part of lithosphere or Earth's crust is rich in silica. You know what's a in chemistry, if you go to chemistry, then what's the symbol of silica? Si. It's uppermost part of the lithosphere or Earth's crust is rich in silica and aluminium, and together it's known as Cl, because aluminium has the formula Al, and silica has the formula Si. Together it forms a Cl layer, Cl layer. Below the Cl layer is the Sima layer. What is this Sima layer? Again, it is rich in silica. Below the Cl layer, it's rich in silica and magnesium. That is magnesium Ma we have taken. So Sima, though the formula of magnesium is Mg, but here we have taken Si, silica, and Ma of magnesium. So we can find the uppermost part is rich in silica and aluminium, that is Cl layer. Just beneath the Cl layer, just below the Cl layer is the Sima layer, that is the silica and magnesium. Okay, and that is actually ocean floor, that is actually ocean floor. Next question is, what is hydrosphere? The water content of the earth, which includes ponds, pools, rivers, lakes, sea and oceans, etc., is called hydrosphere. Basically, hydrosphere is of immense importance to mankind. Through the process of evaporation, oceans supply water vapor to the atmosphere. Water vapor gets condensed in the atmosphere, causing precipitation on the Earth's surface in the form of rain. We all know. Now, this hydrologic cycle helps the oceans to supply fresh water to the land surface, which help to maintain life on Earth's surface. Now, question number 6, what are the main components of biosphere? And question number 8, what is ecosphere? Let me clear out one thing. Biosphere and ecosphere are same thing. If the question comes, what are the main components of ecosphere? Answer will be same. That is, biosphere comprises of 3 main components: atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere. Again, coming to question number 8, what is biosphere if it is asked? Then the answer will be the interactions between the biotic and abiotic world creates the ecosphere. So actually, biosphere or ecosphere, it is a thin layer of living system within the atmosphere. It is referred to as ecosphere as it comprises a gigantic network of ecosystems. Then what is biome? Question number 7, what is biome? The total number of organisms in a particular area is called biome. Biome geographically, it's a large ecological region characterized by broad similarity in vegetation and climate. If you search for the examples, the principal biomes, means examples of principal biomes, then they are tundra, temperate coniferous forest, temperate deciduous forest, tropical rainforest. Okay. Now, next question, question number 9. What is an ecosystem? The interaction of the organisms with its environment is called an ecosystem. The interaction of an organism with its environment is called an ecosystem. Rather, if I say ecosystem may be defined as a functional unit where the biotic and abiotic components of the environment interplay in such a manner that through it flow of energy and matter take place. The community with all the plants and animals form the biotic component, we know. Okay, while organic and inorganic substances together with the climatic factor constitute the abiotic component of the ecosystem. So what did I tell? That ecosystem may be defined as the functional unit where these biotic and abiotic components of the environment, they interact in such a manner that flow of energy and matter take place. And what is biotic component? It's the community with all the plants and animals. And what are abiotic components? It's organic and inorganic substances together with the climatic factor. Okay, so actually, ecosystem is a complex system in which interactions between various components of environment take place. But very importantly, it should be mentioned that it was first proposed by British ecologist Tansley. The term ecosystem was first proposed by British ecologist Tansley in 1935. Ecosystem may be pond ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, forest ecosystem, marine ecosystem, desert ecosystem. So many examples of ecosystems are there. Our next question is question number 11. Give an example of an artificial ecosystem. Numerous examples are there, but here I have cited aquarium. Aquarium is an example of an artificial human-made ecosystem. Aquarium, it can be defined as a closed artificial ecosystem. It's a closed artificial ecosystem in which fish and plants can find a habitat, common habitat where they can grow and develop in a healthy and balanced way. And what is the most important thing, that we can maintain the pH of water, the hardness of water, percentage of ammonia, or nitrates, phosphates, etc. All these things we can maintain it artificially. Say suppose the pH of an aquarium should be up to 7. We know that when the pH of water is 7, that means it's neutral, neither acidic nor basic. It should not be like that. It should be up only 7 only. And if I say the hardness of water, that is termed as KH, hardness should be between 4 to 8. For marine aquariums, it should be 8 to 10. And also, amount of carbon dioxide that is dissolved in water, that also you can maintain artificially. So all these are the these are the advantages of an artificial ecosystem. Whereas in case of natural ecosystem, it's not in your hand. How will you maintain all these things? Means if you go to a marine ecosystem, if you go to a pond ecosystem, aquatic ecosystems, I'm telling, in that case, it's very difficult to maintain this pH, hardness, everything artificially. You can't maintain. So this with the artificial ecosystem. Now we are coming to question number 12. Water producers. Organisms which can make organic compounds like sugar and starch from inorganic substances using the radiant energy of the sun by photosynthesis are called producers. Example, we all know all green plants and certain bacteria. Certain bacteria can photosynthesize on their own, so they are also termed as producers. So actually, producers, this term is a sort of misleading term. Why? Rather, if you call them as converters. Why is the exact term converter? Because these plants convert radiant energy to chemical energy. You can see in the definition also it's mentioned over there. So radiant energy is being converted to chemical energy. So if converter means what are converters, if question comes, suppose, then it's nothing but producers. Then question number 13, what are consumers? The organisms which depend on the producers directly or indirectly for their foods are called consumers. Now, consumers include both herbivores and carnivores. In the food chain, carnivores depend on herbivores and herbivores on plants for energy and nutrient flow. So basically, these producers and consumers, they are very old concepts. You are quite acquainted with these two terms, I think so. Next question is classify consumers, where you can see the consumers are categorized under 4 headings: herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, and parasites. Now, what do you mean by herbivores? These are the organisms or animals which depend on autotrophs, like plant, algae, on photosynthesizing bacteria, etc. They are called primary consumers. You can go for the example like the deer, cricket, rabbit, sheep, elephant. They are also primary consumers. Now we are coming to carnivores and omnivores. They are secondary consumers actually. Now what are these carnivores? Carnivores mean they are meat eater, which they derive energy and nutrient requirements from animals, carnivores. Okay. So example, you can see snakes, sharks, spiders, etc. Then omnivores. These are the animals which feed on both plants and animals, obtaining energy and nutrients from plants and animals. Now these omnivores, they can digest carbohydrates, proteins, fats, etc. And example of omnivores, reptiles, lizards, etc. So these carnivores and omnivores, they come under secondary consumers. Now, if we come to parasites, mainly they are helminths, protozoa, ectoparasite, like that, etc. So, parasite is an organism that lives in a host or in a host to get its food at the expense of the host. Mind it, at the expense of the host. So, if I go for this categorically, why I'm telling you, because you should be acquainted with these terms from class 10 only, because you have these things in other chapters too. So, under helminths, if I say what is the name of the parasite, can you give an example under helminths? Then it will be Ascaris lumbricoides. It's a very common parasite in our body. Then if you come under protozoa, then it's Entamoeba histolytica. If you come under ectoparasite, then it's louse. Then there is Giardia duodenalis. You know, Giardia duodenalis again is a very common example of parasite in our body. So now if I come, I already have told who are the primary consumers, they are herbivores. Who are the secondary consumers, they are carnivores and omnivores. Now we are coming on tertiary consumer. Now these tertiary consumers, if I say, they are the animals which obtain its nutrition by eating primary and secondary consumer. They feed on these carnivores and omnivores, or they feed on these primary and secondary consumers. Means they feed on herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. They are called tertiary consumers. So they belong to an apex predator in the food chain actually. I will come to the food chain later on. Obviously, I'm going to explain what is food chain, but they are the apex predator, and that means they are at the top of the food chain. Okay. I have already covered biosphere, biome, ecosystem, producers, consumers, etc. from the chapter Our Environment, Class 10, Biology, CBSE Board. The chapter will be continued further in the next post. But here I have one question for you. Mention the non-essential component of an ecosystem. I repeat, mention the non-essential component of an ecosystem. If you know the answer, you can post your answer in the comment section below along with your email ID. The best answer will be rewarded a surprise gift, and you will be notified through your email. Thank you for listening to the lecture. In our next session, we will discuss about food chain, decomposers, energy flow in ecosystem, trophic level, food web, ecological pyramid. Keep subscribing to the channel. If you have not subscribed to my channel so far, then you can subscribe now and also click on the notification icon to receive the first update when the next lecture will be published. Students who are staying in Kolkata can take the advantage of joining Smart Class Academy, where we provide tutorial in all subjects, including computer science and computer application from class 5 to 12, all boards. Smart Class also provides tutorial classes for NEET JEE Mains by experienced teachers. Anyone interested can contact through email ID given below. Thank you and stay tuned.